I accidentally booked my dream wedding venue under my best friend's name and now she's planning her wedding there instead. I know how the title sounds. I know. But please, just hear me out because I genuinely don't know if I'm losing my mind or if I have every right to be as upset as I am right now. So, some background. My best friend Emma and I have been friends since college. We're talking 10 years of friendship here. We were roommates for 4 years, stood in each other's graduations, cried through breakups together, the whole 9 yards. She's basically family at this point, or at least, I thought she was. I got engaged to my fiancé Marcus about 8 months ago. It wasn't a surprise. We'd been together for 5 years and had talked about marriage pretty openly for the last year or so. When he finally proposed, at our favorite hiking spot, very low-key and various, I was over the moon. Emma was literally the second person I called after my mom, and she screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. Here's where it gets complicated. Emma had been dating her boyfriend Ryan, 31M, for about 3 years at that point. Nice guy, works in finance, kind of boring if I'm being honest, but he treated her well and she seemed happy. She'd occasionally make comments about marriage, nothing too serious, just like, when we get married, type stuff. But Ryan had never seemed in any rush. She never mentioned him planning to propose or anything like that. After Marcus and I got engaged, Emma and I started doing what I thought was just fun, hypothetical wedding planning stuff. You know, like scrolling through Pinterest boards, talking about color schemes, looking at venues online. I thought it was just girl talk, the kind of thing you do with your best friend when you're excited about a major life event. She'd done the same thing with me when she got her first apartment, and I wasn't even thinking about moving at the time. But then I really did start looking at venues seriously, and I found it. The venue. It's this converted barn about an hour outside the city, right on the edge of this gorgeous lake. The whole property is like something out of a Pinterest fever dream. String lights everywhere. A dock that goes out into the water. This massive old oak tree where they do ceremonies. The inside of the barn has been renovated but they kept all the original wood beams, and there are these huge windows that let in all this natural light. I'm not even someone who dreamed about their wedding as a kid, but the second I saw this place, I felt something click into place. The problem? This venue is booked. Like, years in advance. Their website said they had a 2-year waiting list and weren't even taking new inquiries. I was crushed. Marcus tried to cheer me up by showing me other places, and they were nice, but they weren't that. You know when you see something and you just know? That's how I felt about this barn. So Emma, being the amazing friend I thought she was, said she'd help me. She has this thing where she's incredibly persistent. In college, she once called the housing office every single day for 2 weeks until they gave us the dorm room we wanted. She said she'd work her magic and see if she could get us on some kind of cancellation list. I gave her all my information, full names, phone numbers, email addresses, preferred dates, everything. She said she'd handle it because she knew someone who knew someone, or something like that. Honestly, I was just grateful for the help because I was drowning in wedding planning stress at that point. We were also trying to coordinate with Marcus's family who live in Oregon, my family who are scattered across 3 different states, and I was in the middle of a major project at work. Weeks went by. Emma would occasionally update me, still working on it. I think I'm getting somewhere. These people are so hard to reach. I didn't think anything of it. Then about 2 months ago, Emma and Ryan got engaged. She called me crying happy tears, and of course I was thrilled for her. The proposal sounded beautiful. He took her to this fancy restaurant and the ring was gorgeous, exactly her style. We met up for celebratory drinks that weekend and she couldn't stop staring at her hand. I remember thinking how nice it was that we'd be planning our weddings together. We should do a joint bachelorette party. She said, already 3 Proseccos deep. Oh my God, and our kids will grow up together like cousins. I laughed and agreed, caught up in the excitement. She started talking about her wedding ideas, and I noticed she was describing a lot of things that were very similar to what I'd been planning. The same color palette, sage green and cream. Similar flower choices, lots of eucalyptus and white roses. Even the same general vibe, rustic but elegant. I didn't say anything because, honestly, They're pretty common wedding trends right now. I'd seen dozens of weddings with similar aesthetics on Instagram. Plus, we'd been looking at inspiration together for months, so it made sense our tastes would overlap. But then she said something that made my stomach drop. And I'm so excited, I actually have a venue already. Can you believe it? Usually these things take forever to book, but I got really lucky. Oh wow, where? I asked, genuinely curious. It's this amazing converted barn about an hour outside the city. Right on a lake? It's absolutely perfect, exactly what I always wanted. I felt cold all over. Wait, what's it called? Willow Lake Barn. Have you heard of it? I couldn't speak for a second. That was my venue, the one she was supposed to be helping me get. Emma, I said slowly, that's the venue I asked you to help me book. She laughed. Actually laughed. Oh, I know, that's actually how I found out about it. When I was contacting them for you, I saw they had this one date available and I don't know, I had this feeling, you know? And then when Ryan proposed, it felt like fate. The date works perfectly for us. I must have had a weird expression on my face because she quickly added, don't worry though, I'll help you find something just as good. There are tons of beautiful venues around here. But Emma, that was my venue. You were booking it for me. Well, technically I never confirmed anything for you. They had that one date and I grabbed it. I was going to tell you it didn't work out. She took another sip of her drink, like she hadn't just dropped a bomb in the middle of our conversation. You grabbed it? What do you mean you grabbed it? I put down the deposit. The date is September 15th next year. Isn't that perfect? It's after the summer heat but before it gets too cold. September 15th was one of my preferred dates. One of the 3 dates I'd given her. Emma, I gave you that date. I gave you all my information to book this venue for me. She got this defensive look on her face. Okay, first of all, you weren't even officially booking it yet. You just asked me to look into it. And second, I got engaged after I started looking, so it's not like I planned this. The date was available, and I took it. That's just how wedding planning works, you have to move fast. But you were supposed to be helping me. And I would have. But they only had one date, Maya. One. What was I supposed to do? Pass it up? You'll find another venue, there are literally hundreds in the area. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. There are literally hundreds in the area, but you took the one I was specifically trying to get? People at nearby tables were starting to look over. Emma lowered her voice. You're being really unfair right now. I get that you're disappointed, but I'm allowed to have the wedding I want to. Just because you got engaged first doesn't mean you get dibs on every vendor and venue. I'm not saying I get dibs on everything, I'm saying you literally used information I gave you to book the venue I wanted. The venue we both loved, she corrected. We were looking at it together, remember? You don't own it just because you found it first. I was so stunned I didn't even know what to say. She paid for her drinks, gave me a hug like nothing was wrong, and told me to text her later. I sat there for probably 20 minutes just trying to process what had happened. When I got home and told Marcus, he was furious. That's so messed up, he kept saying. She was supposed to be helping you and she just took it? She says it's fair game because I hadn't officially booked it yet. That's bullshit and you know it. She used your information and your dates. I tried calling Emma the next day to talk about it more calmly, but she didn't pick up. She texted me later saying she was really busy with wedding planning, and we'd talk soon. That was 6 weeks ago. Since then, Emma has started a wedding Instagram account featuring photos of her venue. Asked me to be a bridesmaid, I said yes because I didn't know what else to do. Sent me Pinterest boards with ideas that are remarkably similar to everything we discussed for my wedding. Posted in our friend group chat about how lucky she is to have found such a perfect venue. Not once acknowledged that there's anything weird about this situation. Our mutual friends are split. Half of them think Emma crossed a line, half think I'm being dramatic because you can't call dibs on a venue, and it's first come, first served. Marcus and I did find another venue. It's nice, I guess. A historic mansion about 40 minutes from the city. It's pretty and it'll work, but every time I look at the photos, I just think about the barn. My barn, the one with the oak tree and the lake and the string lights. The wedding is next August, a month before Emma's. I've been going through the motions of planning, but my heart isn't in it anymore. Every time Emma sends a bridesmaid group chat message about her wedding, I feel sick. She sent photos yesterday of her doing a venue tour, my venue, with her mom and sisters, and I had to put my phone away. My mom says I should just drop it and focus on my own wedding. Marcus says I should tell Emma exactly how betrayed I feel and possibly end the friendship. My sister says I should publicly call her out, but that feels too dramatic. Part of me thinks I should just suck it up. Like Emma said, I didn't have a deposit down. It was technically available, but another part of me feels like what she did was so fundamentally wrong that I don't even know if I want her in my life anymore. The worst part? I have to watch her get married at my dream venue. I have to stand up there as her bridesmaid, smiling, while she marries Ryan under the oak tree where I imagined marrying Marcus. I have to watch her first dance in the barn I fell in love with. And then a month later, I get to have my own wedding at the backup venue that I settled for. So Reddit, Aida for being upset about this? Should I say something more? Should I drop out of her wedding? I genuinely don't know what the right move is here. I just know that every time I think about September 15th next year, I want to cry. Edit. Wow, okay. I did not expect this to blow up like this. I'm trying to read through all the comments but there are a lot. A few people have asked some questions so I'll clarify. 1. Are you sure she actually booked it under her name and not yours? Yes, I'm sure. She sent me a screenshot of the confirmation email weeks later, after I kept asking about the status, and it very clearly has her name and Ryan's name on it. Not mine. 2. Have you contacted the venue directly? Not yet. Honestly, I've been scared to. I don't know what I'd even say. Hi, my ex-best friend stole my venue? It sounds insane even typing it out. 3. What exactly did you give her permission to do? I gave her my full name, Marcus's full name, both our emails, both our phone numbers, and 3 preferred dates. September 15th being one of them. I told her she could inquire about availability and if something opened up, to let me know immediately so Marcus and I could put down a deposit. I specifically did not tell her to book anything without confirming with me first. 4. Does Ryan know about this? I don't think so. He's a pretty straightforward guy and I can't imagine he'd be cool with this. Then again, I couldn't imagine Emma would do this either, so what do I know? 5. What did you mean when you said she knew someone who knew someone? She told me she had a friend from college whose sister got married at Willow Lake Barn, and she was going to reach out to get in with the owners. Said sometimes if you have a personal connection they'll be more flexible with their booking policies. Some of you are telling me to lawyer up or sue her, but I really don't think I have a legal case. I never had a contract with the venue, I never gave Emma money for a deposit, thank God, and I don't have anything in writing saying she'd book it for me specifically. It was just a friend helping a friend, or so I thought. The comments telling me to drop out of her wedding are really making me think, though. Part of me feels like I'd be stooping to her level if I bail now, but another part of me is like, why should I have to stand there and watch this? I'm going to take a few days to think about all of this. Marcus wants to sit down and have a serious conversation about it this weekend. I'll update if anything major happens. Edit 2. I showed Marcus this thread. Hi Marcus. And he's now firmly in the drop out of the wedding and probably the friendship camp. He says, and I quote, the people of Reddit have spoken and they're right. This is fucked. He's a lawyer and says that while he doesn't think we have a legal case, we could at least try contacting the venue to explain the situation. He's offering to draft an email. I'm still processing all of this, but the overwhelming response has definitely made me realize I'm not crazy for being upset. Thank you for that, genuinely. Update, posted 3 days later. Okay, so I promised I'd update if anything major happened, and boy did it ever. After reading through hundreds of comments and talking with Marcus, I decided to do 2 things. 1. Email the venue directly to explain the situation, and 2. Have an honest conversation with Emma before making any decisions about the wedding. I drafted an email to Willow Lake Barn explaining the entire situation. I was careful to stick to facts, that I'd asked my friend to inquire about availability for me using my information and preferred dates, that she'd instead booked it under her own name after getting engaged, and that I wanted to know if there was anything that could be done. Marcus looked it over to make sure it was professional and not accusatory. I sent it Tuesday morning and honestly didn't expect much. But Wednesday afternoon, I got a call from the venue owner, Catherine. And guys, Catherine was pissed. Apparently, when Emma contacted them, she explicitly said she was calling on behalf of her friend, me, who was interested in booking for a wedding. Catherine said they get a lot of inquiries and aren't taking new bookings, but they'd recently had a cancellation for September 15th. Because Emma said she was calling for a friend and gave a really compelling story about how I was her best friend and how meaningful it would be, Catherine made an exception and offered her the date. According to Catherine, Emma asked if she could confirm with her friend and call back. Then 2 days later, Emma called back and said, "We'd love to book it," using we and providing names, which Catherine assumed meant she was still representing me. It wasn't until Emma sent in the signed contract and deposit that Catherine realized the names were different. She found it a bit odd but figured maybe I'd asked Emma to book under her name for some reason. Apparently some brides do this if they're trying to surprise their fiancé or something. She thought it was weird that Emma never mentioned me again, but she had a signed contract and a deposit, so she didn't question it further. Until my email. Catherine told me that in her 15 years running this venue, she's never encountered anything like this. She kept saying, "That's just not how people behave." She was genuinely shocked. Here's the kicker. Their contract has a clause about booking under false pretenses. If someone misrepresents who they're booking for or uses someone else's situation to secure a date, the venue reserves the right to cancel the contract and refund the deposit minus a small administrative fee. Catherine said she needs to review everything with her lawyer, but she believes Emma violated this clause. She said she'd get back to me within 48 hours. I was honestly shaking when I hung up. Then I did the second thing. I called Emma. She picked up this time, sounding cheerful. "Hey, what's up? I need to talk to you about the venue," I said. Her tone changed immediately. "Maya, I thought we were past this." "Past it? Emma, we never actually talked about it. You've been avoiding me." "I haven't been avoiding you, I've been busy. And honestly, I don't know what else there is to say. I got engaged, I booked a venue, and now I'm planning my wedding." "That's literally what everyone does. You told the venue you were booking it for me." Silence. "Emma? Who told you that?" Her voice was tight now. "I emailed the venue. The owner called me. She told me everything." More silence. Then, "You emailed my venue? Are you serious right now? It's not your venue, Emma. You got that date under false pretenses." "That's not, you're twisting things." "I told them my friend was interested, which was true." "You were interested, and then when they offered me the date, I took it." "That's not illegal. But you used my story to get them to make an exception." "They weren't even taking new bookings." "So what? I was creative. That's called being resourceful." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Creative? Creative? Emma, you lied to them and you used me to do it." "Oh my God, you're being so dramatic. This is exactly why I didn't want to talk to you about this. You're completely overreacting. The venue owner said what you did violates their contract. They might cancel your booking." "They can't do that. I have a signed contract and I put down a $3,000 deposit." "They can if you misrepresented yourself, which you did." "I did not misrepresent anything." "You know what, Maya? You've become really selfish lately. Ever since you got engaged, everything has been about you and your perfect wedding and your perfect life. I found an amazing venue and instead of being happy for me, your supposed best friend, you're trying to ruin my wedding." I was so angry I was crying now. "I'm trying to ruin your wedding? You stole my venue." "I didn't steal anything. It was available and I booked it. That's how the world works. Just because you saw it first doesn't mean you own it. You wouldn't have even known about it if it weren't for me. You wouldn't have had the owner's sympathy if you hadn't used my story." "Whatever, Maya. Do what you want. But I'm not giving up my venue, and if you keep pushing this, everyone is going to see how petty and jealous you really are." She hung up. I immediately called Marcus, sobbing. He came home from work early and we spent the rest of the evening talking through everything. He's 100% convinced I should drop out of her wedding now, and honestly, I'm leaning that way too. This morning, Thursday, I got an email from Catherine. After reviewing the situation with her lawyer and rereading the email trail and recorded phone calls, they record all booking calls for quality assurance. They've decided to cancel Emma's contract. Catherine said Emma's initial contact clearly positioned her as a representative, intermediary for a bride-to-be, me, and that she leveraged this position to secure a date that wouldn't have otherwise been available. This constitutes false pretenses under their booking terms. Emma is getting her deposit back minus a $500 administrative fee, and the date is being offered to me. Catherine apologized profusely for not catching this earlier. She said if I'm still interested, they'd love to honor the original intent and book Marcus and me for September 15th at their standard rate. She's even offering a 10% discount for the trouble this has caused. I immediately said yes. I know I need to tell Emma, but I'm terrified. Marcus offered to be there when I do, or to tell her for me, but I feel like I need to do it myself. I also need to officially drop out of her wedding, which I've decided I'm definitely doing. After that phone call, I don't think I can maintain this friendship at all, let alone stand beside her on her wedding day. My mom is disappointed. She thinks I should be the bigger person, but my sister is fully supportive. Our friend group is going to be a mess when this all comes out. But you know what? I have my venue back. The barn, the lake, the oak tree, the string lights. Everything I wanted. I'm getting married at Willow Lake Barn on September 15th. And Emma, well, Emma is going to need to find a new venue. And a new bridesmaid. I'll update again after I tell her, if anyone wants to know how that conversation goes. Something tells me it's not going to be pretty. Edit 3. To everyone asking, yes, I'm aware this is probably going to blow up our entire friend group. Yes, I know some people will take her side. No, I don't care anymore. What she did was wrong, full stop, and I'm not going to set myself on fire to keep her warm. I love that phrase. Thank you to whoever posted it. Also, multiple people have asked if Emma has ever done anything like this before, and honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of. She has this pattern of being really competitive about things. In college, I mentioned I had a crush on a guy in our English class and she immediately started flirting with him. She dated him for like 3 weeks. When I got my job at my current company, she applied to the same company even though it wasn't in her field at all. She didn't get it. When I bought my car, she bought the same model in a different color 6 months later. I always wrote it off as flattery or coincidence, but Marcus pointed out that it's a pattern of behavior. I think he might be right. Final update, posted 5 days after original post. I told Emma yesterday. Marcus came with me because I was genuinely worried about how she'd react. We met at a coffee shop, neutral territory. She walked in looking annoyed, like I was inconveniencing her by existing. What's so urgent? She asked, not even sitting down yet. The venue canceled your contract, I said. They're giving me the date. I watched all the color drain from her face. She sat down hard in the chair. What? Willow Lake Barn reviewed the situation and decided you violated their booking terms. You used my information and my story to get a date that wasn't available to the general public. They've canceled your contract and offered the date to me. I accepted. They can't do that, she whispered. They already did. You'll get most of your deposit back. She just stared at me for a long moment, and then her face transformed into something I'd never seen before, pure rage. You did this on purpose, she hissed. You sabotaged me. I didn't sabotage you, Emma. I told them the truth. You couldn't stand that I had something you wanted, so you had to ruin it for me. You're pathetic. Marcus started to interject but I held up my hand. I wanted to say this myself. You used me. You pretended to help me while actually helping yourself. You lied to the venue owners. You took something that was meant for me and convinced yourself you deserved it more. And when I called you out, you made me feel crazy for being upset. So no, I didn't sabotage you. You sabotaged yourself. We've been friends for 10 years, she said, and her voice was shaking now. 10 years, Maya, and you're throwing it away over a stupid venue? You threw it away when you betrayed my trust. The venue is just where it became impossible to ignore. She looked at Marcus. You're okay with this? With her being this vindictive? I'm okay with her standing up for herself, he said calmly. Which is something she should have done sooner. Emma stood up. I want you out of my wedding. I was never planning to stay in it. Consider this my official resignation. Everyone is going to know what you did. They're all going to know how you ruined my wedding. They're going to know the truth, which is that you stole from me and got caught. She grabbed her purse. We're done. You and me, we're done. Yeah, I said. We are. She left without another word. I cried in the car afterward, but they were complicated tears. Sadness for the friendship that was over, but also relief. And maybe a little bit of anger that I'd put up with her behavior for so long without seeing it for what it was. Our friend group has predictably split. About half reached out to say they support me, a quarter haven't said anything, probably trying to stay neutral, and a quarter have clearly sided with Emma. I've already been removed from a few group chats. But you know what? I have my venue. I have Marcus, who has been incredible through all of this. I have my family, minus my mom, who's still on the forgiveness train. And I have a wedding to plan. Emma posted on Instagram yesterday, a black and white photo of her and Ryan with a long caption about fake friends, and true colors, and moving forward without toxicity. She's getting a lot of supportive comments from people who don't know the full story. Some mutual friends have been texting me asking what happened. I'm not posting my side publicly. I don't need to. The people who matter know the truth. Marcus and I went to Willow Lake Barn today for our official venue tour and to finalize the contract. Catherine was wonderful. She gave us the full tour, showed us different ceremony site options, introduced us to their preferred caterers. The barn is even more beautiful in person than in photos. When we stood under the oak tree where we'll say our vows, Marcus wrapped his arms around me and whispered, "This is where it was always supposed to be." And you know what? He's right. September 15th is going to be perfect. Not because I won, or because Emma lost, but because I'm marrying my best friend in a place that's meaningful to us. And I didn't have to compromise or settle or pretend everything was okay when it wasn't. So that's it. That's the story of how I accidentally booked my dream wedding venue under my best friend's name, lost a 10-year friendship, and got my venue back anyway. To everyone who commented and offered support, thank you. Genuinely. Reading your responses helped me realize I wasn't crazy and that what happened wasn't okay. Sometimes you need outside perspective to see a situation clearly, and this community gave me that. For anyone going through something similar, trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And don't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. I'll see you all in the comments. And maybe, if anyone's interested, I'll post wedding photos next September from Willow Lake Barn. Thanks for listening, Reddit. Edit to final update. Holy shit, this really blew up. My inbox is completely flooded. A few quick answers to common questions. No, Emma has not reached out to apologize. Yes, Ryan knows everything now, one of the mutual friends told him. No idea what venue she's booking instead and honestly don't care. Marcus and I are doing great, already deep into wedding planning and actually enjoying it now. My mom has come around after talking to my sister. I'm not worried about Emma showing up to cause drama at my wedding. She's too image conscious for that. And to everyone saying I should write a book or make this into a movie, I appreciate it, but I'm just glad to have my venue back and this chapter closed. Okay, I really am done updating now. Time to go look at flowers and cake toppers and all the normal wedding stuff. Thanks again, everyone. You've been amazing.